The shade of lotus feet. And all of the 3 words. We take shelter of your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Pandomui Savadana Mate Pandomui Savadana Mate Yahara Prasadeva E Bhavaturiya Jai Yahara Prasadeva E Bhavaturiya Jai Krishna Prapti Ho Jaha Hoite Krishna Prapti Ho Jaha Hoite Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya Chitte Koriya Aikya Guru Mukha Padma Bhakya Chitte Koriya Aikya Ayana Kori Ho Mane Asha Ayana Kori Ho mani asha. Shri Guru Charan Nerati Eseyu Tamagati. Shri Guru Charan Nerati Eseyu Tamagati. Je prasade pure sarva asha. Je prasade pure sarva asha. Shakudan dilo je janme janme Prabhu se. Shakudan dilo je janme janme Prabhu se. Divya gyan hriday prakashito. Divya gyan hriday prakashito. Prema bhakti aha hote avidya vinash jate. Prema bhakti aha hote avidya vinash jate. Vede gaya hara charito. Vede gaya hara charito. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanara Bandhu. Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanara Bandhu. Lokanath Lokera Jivana. Lokanath Lokera Jivana. Ha ha Prabhu Korodaya Deva Mori Padachaya. Ha ha Prabhu Korodaya Deva Mori Padachaya. Ha Prabhu Korodaya Deva Mori Padachaya. Prabhupada Korodaya Deva Mori Padachaya. Devejas Kusuchi Bhuvana. Devejas Kusuchi Bhuvana. Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana. Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Prabhupada. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Prabhupada. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Gauranga. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Chaitanya Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Kala Chanji Radha Kala Chanji Radhe. Jaya Radha Kala Chanji Radha Kala Chanji Shri Radhe. Shri Radha Kala Chanji Ki Jai.
Sundarangam Kandar ako Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobha Namaham bhajami Govindam Hari Purusham Namaham bhajami Andani yasa sakalem Priya priti manti Pasyanti pan Vikayanti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adi Purusham Amaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Amaham Bhajami
यशोमति नंदना ब्रजभरो नागर गोकुल रंजन काना नंदना ब्रजभर नागर गोकुल रंजन काना यशोमति नंदना ब्रजभर नागर गोकुल रंजन काना नागर गोकुल रंजन काना गोपी परन धन मदन मनोहर मनोहर गोपी परन धन मदन मनोहर मनोहर कालिया दमन विदाना कालिया दमन विधाना अमल हरि नाम अमि अविलासा अमल हरि नाम अमि अविलासा विपिन पुरंदर नवीन नगर बोर वंशी बदन सुवासा नगर बोर वंशी बदन सुवासा ब्रज जन पालन शुर्कुल नाशन नंद गोदन रखवाला शुर्कुल नाशन नंद गोदन रखवाला गोविंद माधव नवनीत तस्कर गोविंद माधव नवनीत तस्कर सुंदर नंद गोपाला सुंदर नंद गोपाला यमुना तट चर गोपी बसन हर रास रसिक कृपा मोया कृपा मोय श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन नटवर श्री राधा वल्लभ वृंदावन नटवर भक्ति विनोदाशाय भक्ति विनोदाशाय यशोमती नंदन ब्रजभर नागर गोकुल रंजन काना यशोमती नंदन ब्रजभर नागर गोकुल रंजन काना गोकुल रंजन का हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Kala Chanji Radha Kala Chanji Radhe Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo
Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Antikoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivsari Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Kalashandidi Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Neela Madhava Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Ki. Yamuna Maya Ki. Tulsi Devi Ki. Bhakti Devi Ki. Harinam Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Brihat Madanga Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaura Pramanande. All glories to the simple devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the simple devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the simple devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada. No, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. All together, let's chant. Narayana namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudirayat nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyutama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitan Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai. So today, welcome everyone to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class. We're reading from Canto 3, Chapter 13, entitled The Appearance of Lord Varaha. We're starting from text 14, we'll be going to 32 and focusing on text 28. So, we're just seeing how Brahma is trying to create the universe, and who is the first children born from Brahma? The Kumaras. Kumaras were first, but they refused to have children, so Brahma was stuck. How to fill up the universe with progeny. And then who was next?
Shiva.
Lord Shiva. What happened? Lord Shiva, tell me.
He came from the anger of Lord Brahma
Yeah.
towards the Kumaras.
And? Did he have children?
He had a lot of children and he told them all to go meditate.
Because they were destroying the universe. Okay. Then who came next? Swayambhuva Manu and?
His wife.
His wife Shatarupa. Okay, so this is who's talking here, is Swayambhuva Manu. So Manu was just born, and he was born together with his wife. So Brahma has hope, like this looks promising. We have a man and a woman here. Looks like we can have some children this time that are going to be decent. All right, so actually the last verse is, Brahma asks, this is where Brahma asks Manu. He says, since you're my very obedient son, I ask you to beget children qualified like yourself in the womb of your wife, rule the world in pursuance of principles of devotional service unto the Lord, and thus worship the Lord by performances of yajna. If you can give proper protection to the living beings in the material world, that will be the best service for me. When the Supreme Lord sees you to be a good protector of the conditioned souls, certainly the master of the senses will be very pleased with you. So he's giving his request to Swayambhuva Manu and assuring him that if you do this, it will be all good, the Lord will be pleased with you, your life will be blessed. So now let's see what Manu is going to say in response to this. Manu vacha adesheham bhagavato varteyami vasudana Stanam tvihanujanihi Prajanam mama cha prabho Manu vacha Adesheham bhagavato Varteyami vasudana Stanam tvihanujanihi Prajanam mama cha prabho. Oh, we weren't supposed to chant that one. Anyways, that's okay. I'll just say the translation. Shri Manu said, O all-powerful Lord, O killer of all sins, I shall abide by your order. Now please let me know my place and that of the living entities born of me. So can you imagine Lord Brahma is very happy because he has a very obedient son who's going to actually abide by his order. Do we have a mic? Okay, so let's go around and read from text 15 onward. Yeah.
O Master of the demigods, please attempt to leave the earth, which is merged in the great waters. Because it is the dwelling place for all the living entities, it can be done by your endeavor and by the mercy of the Lord.
Okay, so hold on. So here, Manu's all ready to, fill up the earth with population, but he's like, there's a small problem here. The earth is submerged in the Garbhodak ocean. So like, where are people going to live? First, you need to solve this problem, lift up the earth out of the ocean. Okay, text 16.
Sri Maitreya said, thus seeing the earth merged in water, Brahma gave his attention for a long time to how it could be lifted.
Brahma thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by a deluge and has gone down into the depth of the ocean. What can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us.
Yeah, so here we can see Lord Brahma's thought process. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport that the devotees are sometimes perplexed in the discharge of their respective duties, but they're never discouraged because he immediately thinks of the Lord. That he's thinking, oh no, I'm trying to create the universe, and somehow my attention was elsewhere, the earth just got sunk into the ocean. What am I going to do? Oh, somehow or other Krishna has to do something. And as soon as he had that thought, then what happened? Text 18.
O sinless Vidura, all of a sudden, while Brahman was engaged in thinking, a small form of a boar came out of his nostril. The measurement of the creature was not more than the upper portion of a thumb.
Imagine how bewildering that would be. You're sitting there, how to save the situation, and something comes shooting out of your nose. What the heck? Okay.
Text 19. O descendant of Bharat, while Brahma was observing him, that boar became situated in the sky, and a wonderful manifestation as gigantic as a great elephant.
Right, so it comes out, first it's just tiny, just the upper portion of the thumb. It's this big, and then it starts expanding, and it goes into the sky. It becomes the size of an elephant, and it's going to keep expanding until it goes all the way up to Satyaloka, the size of its body, covering the whole material universe practically.
Text 20. Struck with wonder at observing the wonderful boar-like form in the sky, Brahma with great brahmanas like Marichi, as well as the Kumaras and Manu, began to argue in various ways.
21. When you pass the mic, don't turn it off, just keep it on.
Text 21. Is this some extraordinary entities come in the presence of a boar? It is very wonderful that he has come from my nose.
So Brahma's thinking, this is something very uncommon that just happened. 22.
Text 22. First of all, this boar was seen no bigger than the tip of a thumb, and within a moment he was as large as a stone. My mind is perturbed. Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu?
So he's guessing, this is so wonderful, it must be the Lord. What else could it be? 23.
Text 23. While Brahma was deliberately with his sons, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, rode tumultuously like a great mountain.
So this is kind of, Prabhupada says in the purport, that this is the Lord's response to his thought. He's thinking, could this be the Lord? Yes! And he roars. Confirmation. Yes, please.
The omnipotent Supreme Personality of Godhead enveiled Brahma and the other highly elevated Brahmanas by again roaring with his uncommon voice, which echoed in all directions.
So when the Lord roared like that, that was also assurance to Brahma and his sons there that everything was going to be okay. But it's just like on the Battle of Kurukshetra that when the Pandavas side blow their conch shells, it gives encouragement to their side, but it shatters the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. So in the same way, this roaring of Lord Boar, Lord Varahadev, it gave encouragement to Lord Brahma, but it caused fear. It struck fear in the hearts of any opposing elements.
Text 25. When the great sages and thinkers who are residents of Janalota, Tapolota and Satyalota heard the tumultuous voice of Lord Boar, which was all auspicious sound of all merciful Lord, they chanted auspicious chants from the three Vedas.
Text 26.
Playing like an elephant, he entered into the water after roaring again in reply to the Vedic prayers by the great devotees. The Lord is the object of the Vedic prayers, and thus he understood that the devotees' prayers were meant for him.
It's a very interesting point that Prabhupada makes in this purport, that he's saying that the Lord is, Lord Varahadev is, the boar incarnation of the Lord is the personified Vedas. So he explains how the Vedas come from the breath of the Lord. So the Lord exhales the Vedic knowledge. And then the recipient of Vedic knowledge, the first recipient was Lord Brahma. So the Lord exhaled the Vedic knowledge, and then Brahma inhaled the Vedic knowledge through his nose, right? You inhale through your nose. And then so when this Lord Boar came out, it was like exhalation through the nose. It was like the Vedas coming back out of Lord Brahma's nose in the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's the source of the Vedas, Lord Varaha. I just thought that was pretty cool. All right, next verse.
Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, slashing his tail, his hard hairs quivering. His very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hooves and his glittering white tusks.
28.
He was personally the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and was therefore transcendental. Yet because he had the body of a hog, he surged after the earth by smell. His tusks were fearful, and he glanced over the devotee brahmanas engaged in offering prayers. Thus he entered the water.
Diving into the water like a giant mountain, Lord Boar divided the middle of the ocean, and two high waves appeared as the arms of the ocean, which cried loudly as if praying to the Lord, "O Lord of all sacrifices, please do not cut me in two. Kindly give me protection."
30.
Lord Boar penetrated the water with his hooves, which were like sharp arrows, and found the limits of the ocean, although it was unlimited. He saw the earth, the resting place of all living beings, lying as if in the beginning of creation, and he personally lifted it.
Lord Boar very easily took the earth on his tusks and got it out of the water. Thus he appeared very splendid. Then his anger, glowing like the Sudarshan wheel, he immediately killed the demon Hiranyaksha, although he tried to fight with the Lord.
Thereupon, Lord Boar killed the demon within the water, just as a lion kills an elephant. The cheeks and tongue of the Lord became smeared with the blood of the demon, just as an elephant becomes reddish from digging in the purple earth.
Okay, let's see one more, last one. Just read it yourself, Madhu.
Then the Lord, playing like an elephant, suspended the earth on the edge of his curved white tusks. He assumed a bluish complexion like that of a
tamal tree, and thus the sages headed by Brahma could understand him to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offered respectful obeisances unto the Lord.
Shri Varahadev ki jai. All right, so let's go back now to text 28, and we'll recite the Sanskrit for this. Granena pritvya padavin vijigram Krodapadesha swayam advaranga Karala damstropya karala drigbhyam Udvikshya vipran grinato vishatkam Granena pritvya padavim vijigram Krodapadesha swayam advarangaha Karala damstrapya karala drigbhyam Udvikshya vipram grinato vishatkam. Please chant. Yena pitya padavim vijigram Karala damstropya karala drigbhyam Udvikshya vipran grinato vishatkam Granena prithya padavim vijigram Kodapadesha swayam advaranga Karala damstropya karala drigbhyam Udvikshya vipran grinato vishatkam. Let's do the word for word all together. Granena, by smelling, pridvya, of the earth, padavim, situation, vijigran, searching after the earth, kroda apadesha, assuming the body of a hog, swayam, personally, advara, transcendental, anga, body, karala, fearful, damstra, teeth, tusks, api, in spite of, akarala, not fearful, drigbhyam, by his glance, udvikshya, glancing over, vipran, all the Brahman devotees, grinata, who were engaged in prayers, avishat, entered, come, the water. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. He was personally the Supreme Lord Vishnu and was therefore transcendental. Yet because he had the body of a hog, he searched after the earth by smell. His tusks were fearful, and he glanced over the devotee brahmanas engaged in offering prayers. Thus he entered the water. Purport. We should always remember that although the body of a hog is material, the hog form of the Lord was not materially contaminated. It is not possible for an earthly hog to assume a gigantic form spreading throughout the sky, beginning from Satyaloka. His body is always transcendental in all circumstances. Therefore, the assumption of the form of a boar is only his pastime. His body is all Vedas, or transcendental. But since he had assumed the form of a boar, he began to search out the earth by smelling, just like a hog. The Lord can perfectly play the part of any living entity. The gigantic feature of the boar was certainly very fearful for all non-devotees. But to the pure devotees of the Lord, he was not at all fearful. On the contrary, he was so pleasingly glancing upon his devotees that all of them felt transcendental happiness. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, how many of you have ever seen the hogs in Vrindavan? A few of you. So in Vrindavan, there are these hogs or these pigs. They're not like the cute little pink pigs that, you know, like you see in pictures or that you see on like, they're like these really ugly boars, you know, with hair that stands up on their back, and they don't have tusks. Sometimes they have tusks, but rarely. But anyways, the hogs of Vrindavan, what they do is they like to root around in the gutters. So there are these gutters that flow on the side of the road that are open, the kind of like drainage ditches, so they're flowing with water, but there's a lot of garbage and all kinds of nastiness in those gutters, and they really smell very bad too. But the pigs love them. So the pigs will get right down in the gutter, and then with their snouts, they'll be, you know, rooting around trying to find some potato peel or some whatever, you know, something that's floating there in the gutter that is food for them. So this is what pigs do. And also, you know, we hear about like wild boars. They'll like stick their snouts in the earth and root around looking for truffles or underground like roots and things that they can eat. So that's what boars do. They go into dirty places and they root around with their snouts for something to pick up. So when the Lord saw that the problem was that the earth had sunk down into the Garbhodak ocean, and someone needed to go down there and find it and pick it up, then he thought, oh, well, that's the kind of stuff that hogs do. They go down into water and they, you know, dig up things and they bring it up with their snout. So he's like, I'll become a hog. That's a suitable form to do the job. So he takes this form of Varaha, which literally means hog. So when we say Lord Varaha, we're saying Lord Hog. And he goes down the Garbhodak ocean. He roams around there for a while, and then he finds the earth that's way down, sunk to the bottom, and he picks it up on his tusks. So if you've seen pictures, maybe there's a picture here, I'm sure there is. Oh, there you go. So the earth is just perched there between his tusks very beautifully on his transcendental snout. And we know that it was described how the form of Lord Varahadev became so huge that he was covering the whole universe. And, you know, proportionally speaking, it must have, because the earth is just like a little, you know, tennis ball on his nose. But the earth is still the size of the same earth that we're sitting on. So he must have been really huge. So he goes down there. And Prabhupada makes the point here in the purport that although he assumes this form of a hog, which is usually, you know, not a very pleasing form, it's usually kind of animal that, you know, it's not a cute and cuddly animal or one that you would consider very beautiful. You know, like some animals are beautiful that people will put pictures of them on their walls, you know, like a beautiful horse grazing a field, or like a parakeet, or deer, or cows. You know, there are some animals that are just really beautiful that you'll put them in your living room wall, you know, and they'll beautify your house. But did you ever see anyone with a picture of a hog on their wall? It's not the kind of animal that, you know, you just think is beautiful, that you're going to look at and think, oh, wow, I feel so good looking at that. But when we look at the beautiful form of the Lord Boar, he's very attractive, you know, he's very cute and cuddly and beautiful and attractive because he's Krishna, you know, Krishna's all attractive. So whatever form he takes, it's going to be attractive. And Prabhupada writes that even though he took the form of a hog, and usually hogs are kind of dirty creatures, but the form of the Lord was not materially contaminated. And then he says it wasn't like an ordinary hog, because an ordinary hog can't do what he did, expand his form like that and go down and pick up the earth. So one thing is that we always have to remember that the Lord is totally transcendental. Whatever form he takes, whatever activities he performs, it's all transcendental. And it's so important for us to understand this, because simply by understanding that the Lord is transcendental and that his forms, his names, his qualities and his pastimes are transcendental, just by that understanding, we can go back to Godhead. And Krishna says that. He says, Janma, where does it start? Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tatvataha tyaktvideham punar janma naiti mam eti sorjuna. That one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving this body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So we should really meditate on the Lord as being totally transcendental. And we heard about how his form is actually a manifestation of the Vedas. That all Vedic knowledge is in that form. It's not an ignorant, like usually animals are ignorant, but this is like the Vedic knowledge is there in that form. And it's described here how he not only did he rescue the earth, but after he killed Hiranyaksha, and that will be described in more detail later. Here it's just briefly mentioned that after saving the earth, because now we're in the context of creation, so the focus here is on Brahma creating the material universes, and this is just a little episode that happened in the creation. So we're going to get back to the creation, but later it'll be described in more detail about how Varahadev kills Hiranyaksha in the 7th canto, I think. So, yeah, but it's mentioned here how the way he kills Hiranyaksha, this got my attention, was just like a lion. He says that just as a lion kills an elephant, and that the cheeks and tongue of the Lord became smeared with the blood of the demon. So, in the later description of how Varaha kills Hiranyaksha, it's described differently. It's described that he just kind of cuffs him with his hoof. He just, he fights with him for a while, like a cat playing with a mouse kind of thing. Lets him go, come back, beats him up again, lets him go, comes back. And then in the end, when he gets tired of the game, of the sport of fighting, then he just hauls off and backhands him with his left hoof, and then the demon's dead. But here it's described that he kills him just like a lion kills an elephant. So how is that? A lion doesn't punch the elephant. He digs into him, he holds onto him with his claws and he sinks his teeth into him. And, it says that literally his mouth and his cheeks became covered with blood. So that indicates that he actually bit him, which is interesting. He just sunk his teeth into him. So there are some differences in the descriptions of the Lord's pastimes. This is concept in Sanskrit is called Kalpa Veda. Kalpa Bheda, which means difference. Like we say, Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva means inconceivable, simultaneous oneness and difference. So the word Bheda means difference. So Kalpa Bheda means that the Lord appears again and again in each and every Kalpa, but there are some differences between his appearances, between his pastimes from Kalpa to Kalpa. So specifically mentioned in relation to Varahadev, that sometimes he comes in a red form, and sometimes, he always comes as a boar, because Varahadev means boar, but sometimes he's red, sometimes he's blue. And here, this looks like the blue form. That's how it ended here, that he, after picking up the earth, he assumed a bluish complexion like that of a tamal tree. So this is the blue Varaha, or Nila Varaha, and the way that he kills Hiranyaksha is also different. So although the Lord's pastimes are, he repeats his pastimes again and again, because these are his favorite things to do. Just like, we all have our are activities that we really like to do, and whenever we get some free time, we'll do those. So the Lord also, He's a person. He has things that He likes to do. So He likes to come as a boar. He likes to kill demons, and that's why, because actually Hiranyaksha was is one of the forms of Jai or Vijay, who are devotees. So the Lord actually likes to fight, and so He makes a whole arrangement by which His devotees will be cursed and have to come to the material world as demons, just so He can fight with them, just so He can enjoy fighting. Because Krishna, the pastimes which He enjoys are those which He performs with His devotees. Krishna doesn't enjoy doing things with demons. He just you see, whenever He's killing an actual demon, He just polishes them off really quickly. He doesn't play with them. He doesn't enjoy the fight. He just does the job. But when He's fighting with devotees who are in the form of demons, then it's like a long, drawn-out thing. It's like a whole epic, pastime. So, Varaha fighting with Hiranyaksha is one of those examples of how he really takes pleasure in doing it. And that's what it says here too. It says that, then the Lord, playing like an elephant, suspended the earth on the edge of His curved white tusks. And so He's just playing. The Lord is just playing. So for Brahma, it's a big problem. Oh no, what to do? The earth is sunk. I can't even begin to think about how to deal with this situation. But for the Lord, it's just play. It's like, woo, I think I'll become a hog. I'll dive down there, have a good swim, bring up the ocean. It's going to be cool. And we'll deal with this Hiranyaksha, and that's all part of the fun. So, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. He doesn't do anything except enjoy Himself. Everything that He does is His pleasure pastimes. So, we should also remember that too whenever we have duties to perform that look difficult. Because the material world gives us a lot of difficulties, a lot of obstacles, and sometimes, we'll see a situation, we'll think, oh my God, I can't even begin to think about how to overcome this difficulty, how to solve this problem. But if we just turn to the Lord, the way Lord Brahma did, then the Lord will appear in some way. He'll manifest in some way, maybe not visible to us, but somehow or other, He will, use His energies, manipulate His energies, and create a solution. He'll bring about a solution. And as we saw in the case of Lord Brahma, the Lord sometimes does this in mysterious ways, in unexpected ways. Like Brahma never expected that the Lord would come shooting out of his nose like a tiny little minuscule hog and then grow this huge form, right? So whenever you're having problems, just pray to Krishna for help, and then just look around and wait for Krishna to, manifest the solution. And you may be surprised how that solution appears, like what form the solution takes. But one thing that happened was that Lord Brahma gained a lot of faith from this. He gained a lot of faith, and all the sages also, they were very, very pleased. And this last verse, because they might have been confused, they might have been some people might have been thinking, wait a minute, how can this possibly be the Supreme Personality of Godhead? I mean, come on, a hog? Really? I don't believe that this could be the Lord. So then, that's why at the end he assumes this bluish complexion, just like a tamal tree. Because, of course, here in Dallas, it's the place of His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So we're all very familiar with how Krishna he has this tamal tree complexion. The tamal tree is a tree which is common in India, and it's very dark, it's blackish, and it's so blackish that sometimes it seems to be a little bluish. So Krishna takes that form. And it's described also how the gopis of Vrindavan, when they're not with Krishna, they're feeling the separation from Krishna, they would see tamal trees that are common there in the Vrindavan area. There's even one growing right in the courtyard of our ISKCON Krishna Balaram Mandir, so you can go and see what a tamal tree looks like there. But they would be feeling separation from Krishna, and they'd be wandering through the forest. Oh, Krishna, where are you? Krishna, when will we see you again? And then they would see a tamal tree, had that bluish black color, and they would think, oh, there's Krishna! And they would run over to the tamal tree and embrace the tamal tree, thinking that it's Krishna. So So Lord Varaha, he manifested this tamal tree color just to assure anybody who may have had some doubts about his identity that indeed he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so the sages and Lord Brahma also could understand that he's the Lord, and they all offered their obeisances to him. So that will be the next class on this section, will be the sages offering their obeisances and prayers to Lord Varahadev. So we will stop there. Are there any questions or comments? Yes, please, behind you.
Thank you. That was a very nice discussion this morning. I was just wondering, when you mentioned meditating on the Lord as transcendental, I was just reflecting that it almost seems inaccessible in some ways when I meditate on the Lord as transcendental. Krishna seems so much more accessible as a cowherd boy or a little boy, or as the friend of the gopis. So I was wondering if you could comment on that.
Yeah, and that's why the Lord Krishna, when he appears in his human form, that tends to be a form that we can connect with more, right? Because it's similar to our form. And so that's the form, that's his eternal form. But also, that form's also transcendental. All of his forms are transcendental. So it's not just that he's transcendental when he comes as something else, and when he assumes his human form, then he's normal. He's always paranormal. He's always like, para. He's always supreme and transcendental in any form. So that's kind of like a little bit of a danger, that a lot of people misunderstand Krishna when he comes in his human form. And he talks about that in the Bhagavad Gita. He says that, fools, they condemn me when I come in my human form because they think that I'm an ordinary human being. But actually, those who are really in knowledge understand that I am the Supreme Person, totally transcendental, the cause of all causes. So when we look at Krishna, we have to be careful to, not try to bring him down to our level, And because if we do, then we'll misunderstand his pastimes. That when he dances with the gopis, we'll think, a man may think, I can also dance with other women, unmarried girls, or, his pastimes of stealing butter. I can also steal things, Krishna does that. So we have to understand that he looks like us, or more like we look like him, because the Bible says that God created man in his own image. So we have a form that's human, like Krishna's original human form, but Krishna's not like an ordinary human being. So we can't do what Krishna did. We have to do what Krishna tells us to do. So with Krishna, sometimes it's like, do as I say, not as I do. Generally, like when parents set a bad example for their kids, but they tell them to do something else, they'll say, do as I say, not as I do. It's not very great parenting, right? But in Krishna, we should set a good example. But in Krishna's case, he's the Lord. And there are some pastimes which he says we can imitate, like when Krishna is in Dwarka, his Dwarka Leela, there are many places there where he specifically says that Krishna performed this pastime to set the example for others. So when he performs those kinds of pastimes, then we know that that's something that we can follow. But then there are other pastimes where it's specifically said, this should not be imitated. So that's why we have to know what example can we follow and what should we not follow. But fortunately, Krishna also made it very easy for us because he came later as Lord Chaitanya. And just for the purpose of teaching us how to be devotees. And so everything that Lord Chaitanya did, we should follow. He showed us how to chant Hare Krishna in ecstasy, how to worship the deities, how to go on pilgrimages to holy places, how to behave according to perfect etiquette, loving exchanges with Vaishnavas, like that. So, if we're looking for an example to follow, the supreme transcendental example, then we have that in Lord Chaitanya. And then Krishna we should see as our worshipful Lord, the supreme object of our love. and appreciate his pastimes and be attracted by those pastimes and aspire to serve him in his divine transcendental leelas one day. Thank you. Good question. Something else? Yes, Sarva Prabhu. Very nice to see you here for.
This seems like a very incredible pastime or miracle form of the Lord, but the Christian scriptures say with God all things are possible. If we really believe that all things are possible, these amazing pastimes of the Lord make great sense. One other point is that, like great kind of a coincidence, Tamal Krishna Maharaj had a surgery in Dallas. It was on the appearance day of Lord Varaha Day. And Tamal Krishna, his brother, is now named Kalachandji, came to Dallas for the surgery, and he thought of the surgeon cutting into his brother's body and taking out the cancer. It was like reminding him of Lord Varaha. So this is a nice example of a devotee seeing Krishna in different things.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, very beautiful. It's a nice, it's nice meditation. You know, when we hear Krishna's pastimes, when we hear Krishna's qualities, to try to see, like I was saying, like see how Krishna will appear in your life, and he'll perform his pastimes, right? So that's a pastime. You're going into a dirty place. The inside of the body is like a disgusting place. But someone can go in there and take out, something. And so that's, good. Great meditation. Thank you. Drishyadumna Prabhu.
I just kind of had a small comment, but I think a few classes ago it was talking about Brahma or Swayambhuva Manu's daughters, and then his daughters married the different munis and stuff. And I think, because like the first time I go through the Bhagavatam, it's kind of like a little bit confusing, like we're talking about kind of random things. But I could have sworn like the second time I went through, it was like, oh, like this is Hiranyaksha's father, who's like being described like a chapter ago or 2 chapters ago or something. So I thought that was maybe like a little Easter egg. Was it Kashyapa?
Yeah.
Kashyapa Muni?
Kashyapa and Diti. Yep. So you don't want to have children like Kashyapa and Diti did. You don't want to have children at all, you're a brahmachari. Okay, any last question, comment? All right, it's perfect timing. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanandi.